Shabbat Shalom. All praises to the Most High God Yahweh, and I do so in the name of His only begotten Son Yahweh Shai Mashiach, Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, who the world didn't call Jesus Christ. Shema Yasharala Yahweh, Allahaya Nawa Yahweh Chet, meaning here in Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. Y'all gotta forgive me and pray for me. I'm under the weather. So as other brothers, we're under the weather right now, and we're just trying to get healthy. So prayers are accepted, and Baba Kushah do that for us. So give me a second. Let me get my tea, sit back down, and we'll go over this lesson. All right, give me a second. All right, Shabbat Shalom. Almost ready here. All right, I'm gonna go through little prayers real quick for everybody. Shalom, shalom. All right, I'm gonna do that again. So I don't think my mic was on. Say some prayers real quick. Everybody face the east. You either lay on your stomach or on your knees or stand up with your head face towards the ground. Noah, Shabbat Kodash, Haya, Shemka, Yahweh, Malach Baka, Taba'a, Batazaka, Haya, Aisha, Barataza, Kahaya, Bashamayim, Natayanawa, Lacham, Koyawam, Wasalakinawa, Kabawatinawa, Kasalakinawa, Kabawatinawa, Wala'a, Tabihanawa, Benasaya Wam, Oh, Hoshayanawa, Murai, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwath, Wa Allah, Wataparath, Walayalumyam, Hallelujah. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, here on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Hallelujah. Bahasham, Yahushua, Moshiach. Hallelujah. All right, let's get it popping. I'll let y'all pray just for another 3 minutes. In case y'all got something to say, I ain't gonna be on video today. I'm gonna be behind the screen and I'm under the weather. But the word of the Most High gotta go out. Okay? Always. I'm gonna start somewhere because I wanted to start somewhere today. The Spirit of the Most High gave me the Most High put it on my spirit to do so, so I'm gonna do it. It's supposed to be Deuteronomy 28 and 1. Just to start off with something, food for the spirit. And it reads, and it shall come to pass, if thou, meaning if you, that's listening, if thou shalt not hearken, if thou shalt hearken, that means if you do this, diligently unto the voice of Yahweh thy power, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that Yahweh thy power will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. All right, so if you diligently if you diligently hearken unto the voice, that means these scriptures, and this is his mouth that I have. It belongs to him. So I'm his mouth right now, representing the Most High, and Lord willing, I do it in the spirit of Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushua Mashiach, his only begotten Son. So to observe and to do all his commandments. Let's go back a couple chapters. Let's go over what these commandments are. This is Deuteronomy 6 and verse 1. Now these are the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments which Yahweh thy power commanded to teach you, that ye might do them in the land, that thou mightest fear Yahweh thy power, to keep all his statutes and his commandments, which I command thee, thou and thy son and thy son's son, all the days of thy life, and that thy days may be prolonged. Hear therefore, O Israel, which are the Black, Hispanic, Native Indians, Panamanians, Guatemalans, El Salvadorians, people from Honduras, Haitian, Jamaican, a couple more just came, Cubans, Puerto Ricans, Brazilians, Peru, I know I'm forgetting a couple of Slovakia, all right? So let's go over here to another one in the same chapter. Let's go to chapter 25 real quick. Right? And it says, and it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments. It shall be our righteousness to do all the commandments of the Most High. And through the Spirit, I just wanted to go through this one to start off with, just to show y'all that what the Most High wants us to do, right? And understanding that we are in these last days and things that are going on and things are happening, and it gets hard, but to show you what the Most High wants you to do is a marvelous thing. Like he said in Deuteronomy 28 and verse 1, if you would do these things, observe them, right? And he started going into what had happened in verse 3. Blessed shalt thou be in the city, and blessed shalt thou be in the field on your job. Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy ground. These things will happen. These things will outnumber all, right? If you do what? Deuteronomy 6 and 1. Now these are the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments, which Yahweh your power commanded to teach you, that you might do them in the land whither you go to possess. Wherever you go to possess the land, that's where you're doing. You may be in Connecticut, you may be in Indiana, you may be in Canada, you may be in San Diego, Texas, North Carolina, no matter where you are, even in Arizona or Albuquerque, you will do them. That's the land where you go to possess, right? That thou mightest fear Yahweh thy power to keep all his statutes and his commandments. All right, so when you go there, let's go to Judges 5 and 11 real quick, right? And y'all know what that is. I just want to show y'all something. Judges chapter 5 and verse 11. And it reads, my fingers are dry. They that are delivered from the noise of the archers in the places of drawing water, who draws the water? The servants draw the water. In the place of the noising archers, this is where the war is going to be, World War III. All right, Brick, all those guys. There shall they rehearse the righteous acts of Yahweh, even the righteous acts towards the inhabitants of his villages in Israel. Then shall the people of the Lord go down to the gates from rehearsing the righteous acts, right? So let's go there again just to reiterate what the Most High said to do. Go to Deuteronomy 6 and 25 real quick, because you just got to solidify the Most High and get you to understand that he wants you to do his will. But righteousness is what? The commandments. Right. But we're going to prove all things, and we're not going to just stay in the law. I'm going to go somewhere else. I'm going to go into the prophets in the New Testament for you, just to show you, to correlate everything else for you. All right, this is Deuteronomy 6 and 25. It shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before Yahweh our power, right, as he hath commanded us. As he has commanded us, right? And then I said over here in Judges, right? Excuse me. Judges 5 and verse 11. I said it right. They that are delivered from the noise of the archers in the places of drawing water, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord, even the righteous acts towards the inhabitants. That's righteous, right? That is righteous. So let me go somewhere else real quick. All right. Let's go to 1 John 3 and 9 real quick. 1 John 3 and 9 real quick. It's the book of 1 John chapter 3 and verse 9, and it reads, whosoever is born of Yahweh doeth not commit sin, for his seed remaineth in him, right? And he cannot sin because he is born of Yahweh. In this, the children of Yahweh are manifest, and the children of the devil. Whosoever doeth not righteousness is not of Yahweh. So whoever doeth not righteousness, and I just established you, righteousness is the commandments. Righteousness is the commandments. Let's go back and just solidify that. Go to Deuteronomy 6. And 1. a second. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6 and verse 1. Now these are the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments, which Yahweh your power commanded to teach you, that ye might do them in the land whither ye go to possess it. Right? Now let's go to 25, just to justify that righteousness is the commandments. And it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments. Right? It shall be our righteousness to do all these commandments. Let's just go to somewhere else before I go back to John. Let's go to Psalms, book of Psalms 119 and 172. Book of Psalms 119, 172. My tongue shall speak of thy word, for all thy commandments are righteousness. For all thy commandments are righteousness. It should be our righteousness. Right? So when I go back to 1 John, right? 3 and 9. 1 John 3 and 9. Let me get back over there. 1 John chapter 3 and verse 9. I'm going to go to 10. And this is 1 John chapter 3 and verse 10. In this the children of Yahweh are manifest. See, the children of Yahweh are manifest. Right? How? How would you know the children of Yahweh are manifest? And the children of the devil. How are you going to know how the children of the devil are manifest? You got the children of God that are manifest and the children of the devil that are manifest. How can you tell the two? Right? Whosoever doeth not righteousness is not of Yahweh. And we just established what righteousness is. In Deuteronomy 6, verse 25. And then I went to Psalms, chapter 119, verse 172. Right? And I'm not going to stop there. Just so I can prove all things. So let's go to Revelations 22 and 15. Last book. Book of Revelations, chapter 22 and verse 15. For without are dogs and sorcerers and whoremongers and murderers and idolaters, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie. Go up to 14. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have the right to the tree of life, and may enter through the gates into the city. So blessed are they that do his commandments. And what is his commandments? The righteousness. And I have just proven it. But I'm not going to stop there. Remember, it says in 1 John 3 and 10, in this children of Yahweh are manifest, and the children of the devil. Whosoever doeth not righteousness is not of Yahweh, right? So let's go to Matthew 6 and 33 just to put a stamp on it. Matthew 6 and 33. But seek ye first the kingdom of Yahweh and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added to you. So when you go to Deuteronomy 25, and it says, and it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before Yahweh our power, as he commanded us. Then when you go to something like this, Jeremiah 4 and 1, right? Let's go to the book of Jeremiah 4 and 1. Book Jeremiah chapter 4, verse 1. If thou wilt return, O Israel, the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, and all the other tribes I've mentioned, saith Yahweh, return unto me, and if thou wilt put away thine abominations out of my sight, then shalt thou not remove, right? And thou shalt swear, the master liveth in truth, in judgment, and in righteousness, and the nations shall bless themselves in him, and in him shall they glory. Man, just keeps coming, right? So when you go to Deuteronomy 6 and 25, just to justify it, and it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before Yahweh our power, as he has commanded us. So when you go to somewhere to Deuteronomy 28 and 15, this is just a curse. Deuteronomy chapter 20, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of Yahweh thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. And when it says right here in verse 3, it's going to say right here in verse 16, curse shalt thou be in the city, and curse shalt thou be in the field. That's what's going to happen. So keep the righteousness of the Most High. Right? Keep the commandments. So let's start the lesson real quick. So we're going to go to the Torah. Mm-hmm. I know I ain't going crazy. Give me a second. Okay, no, it wasn't. All right, we're going into the Torah, to the book of Exodus, chapter 3, verse 1 to verse 5 and 23. Then we're going to the Gospel, to the book of Mark, chapter 13, verse 1 to 15 and 47. And then we go into the Gospel of the book of Luke, chapter 5, verse 1, chapter 7 to 50. Chapter 7 to verse 50. All right, so everybody go to Exodus, chapter 3, verse 1. And remember, if you want a good understanding of the book of Exodus also, you can also go to the book of the Wisdom of Solomon and start reading that. And I say, starts talking about the land of Egypt. I think thinking like chapter 6 on up. I could be wrong. It could be chapter 7 on up, but I say start at 6, 5 or 6 and read up. I gotta read this through the Spirit. This is Deuteronomy 18 and verse 19. And it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken unto my words, which he shall speak in my name. Who's he that shall speak in my name? Officer Marakat. And I'm speaking in the name of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua Mashiach. I will require it of him. But the prophet which shall presume to speak a word in my name, which I have not commanded him to speak, or that shall speak in the name of other powers, even that prophet shall die. Hey, be careful. Be careful. All right. So let me go where I was going to go. So, hey, Most High ain't playing. And I understand that and I respect that. And I have no excuse if I've ever done that. There's no excuses for me. We looked at it again. That was a two-edged sword, man. Remember that. Book of Exodus, chapter 3, and verse 1. And it reads, Now Mashiach kept the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian. So he was Cushites, Somalis, Eritreans, and Ethiopians. And he led the flock to the backside of the desert and came to the mountain of Yahweh, even to Horeb. And the angel of Yahweh appeared unto him in a flame of fire out of the midst of a bush. And he looked, and behold, the bush burned with fire, and the bush was not consumed. And we got to understand, if you go to Jeremiah 23 and 29, you got to understand what the Most High, what this is talking about. Excuse me. Jeremiah chapter 23 and 29, it reads, Is not my word like as a fire, saith Yahweh, and like a hammer that breaketh the rock in pieces? So let me preach something, right? It's the book of Psalms, chapter 104, and verse 4. Yeah, in verse 4. Who maketh his angel spirits, his ministers a flaming fire. So his words were fire, and that bush burned with fire. Those words, it was fire. He can feel it. You got what I mean? All right. So, and behold, the bush burnt with fire, and the bush was not consumed. Well, those words was fire. And Masha said, I will now turn aside and see this great sight, why the bush is not burnt. And when the angel of the Lord saw that he turned aside to see, Elohim called unto him out of the midst of the bush, right? And said, Masha, Masha. And he said, Here I am. But this is the Most High. The Most High is speaking all the time. Most of the times he's speaking through the angels. And, speaking to Masha face to face. Right? And he said, Draw not nigh hither. Put off thy shoes from off thy feet. For the place whereon thou standest is holy ground. Moreover, he said, I am Yahweh of thy father, the power of Abraham, the power of Isaac, and the power of Jacob. And Masha hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon Yahweh, the angel of the Lord. And the angel of the Lord said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people, which are in Egypt, and have heard their cry by reason of their taskmasters, for I know their sorrows. Taskmasters was taking a straw away when you couldn't make the brick properly and everything. It was crazy. Right. Verse 8, and I am come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians, and to bring them up out of that land, unto a good land and a large, unto a land flowing with milk and honey. Excuse me. It's like I had to sneeze. Verse 8, I am come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians, and to bring them up out of the land, of that land, unto a good land and a large, unto a land flowing with milk and honey, unto the place of the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites. So the Most High is about to pluck them out of this land. Tell me why when you go to Deuteronomy 7, people are not paying attention to that. That's talking about Edom too. In verse Deuteronomy 7, 1-3. You just got to pay attention to it. Understand commas and periods. All right. Verse 9. Now therefore, behold, the city of the children of Israel is come on. The cry of the children of Israel is come unto me. And I have also seen the oppression wherewith the Egyptians oppressed them. When you go to chapter 1, verse 18-19, Exodus chapter 1, verse 8-19, you see the oppressions. Let's go to this one. Verse 13, Exodus 1-13. And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor, and he made their lives bitter with hard bondage, in mortar and in brick, and in all manner of service in the field. All their service wherein they made them serve was with rigor. And the king of Egypt spake to the, so now I went to the midwives. So all these things happen. Now let's go to Exodus 3 and 10. Come down therefore, and I will send thee unto Pharaoh, that thou mayest bring forth my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt. And Moshe said unto the angel of the Lord, who am I, that I should go unto Pharaoh, and that I should bring forth the children of Israel out of Egypt? And he said, certainly I will be with thee, and this shall be a token unto thee, that I have sent thee. When thou hast brought forth the people out of Egypt, ye shall serve Yahweh upon this mountain. And Moshe said unto the angel of the Lord, behold, when I come unto the children of Israel, and shall say unto them, the power of your fathers have sent me unto you. And they shall say to me, what is his name? What shall I say unto him? And the angel of the Lord said unto Moshe, I am that I am. And he said, thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, I am had sent me unto you. And a lot of people get that mixed up. Why, when the people ask him, they say, bro, what's the Most High? He's going to say, I am that I am. Or he's going to answer in order, because the Most High is about order. He's going to say, he is who he is. He is, meaning Yahweh. He is. You know what I mean? And the angel of the Lord said, moreover, unto Moshe, thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, the power, the master, power of your fathers, the power of Abraham, the power of Isaac, and the power of Jacob hath sent me unto you. This is my name forever, and this is my memorial unto all generations. Remembrance. Go and gather the elders of Israel together, and say unto them, the master, power of your fathers, right? The power of Abraham, the power of Isaac, the power of Jacob, appeared unto me, saying, I have surely visited you, and seen that which is done to you in Egypt. All right? And with Exodus 1, in Exodus chapter 1, verse 8 to 19, you'll see it. And I have said, I will bring you out of the affliction of Egypt unto the land of the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, unto a land flowing with milk and honey. And they shall hearken to thy voice, and thou shalt come, thou and the elders of Israel, unto the king of Egypt. And you shall say unto him, the master power of the Hebrews hath met with us, and now let us go, we beseech thee, 3 days' journey into the wilderness, that we may sacrifice to Yahweh our power. And I am sure that the king of Egypt will not let you go, no, not by a mighty hand. And I will stretch out my hand and smite Egypt with all my wonders, which I will do in the midst thereof. And after that, he will let you go. And I will give this people favor in the sight of the Egyptians. And it shall come to pass that when ye go, ye shall not go empty. But every woman shall borrow of her neighbor, and of her that sojourneth in her house, jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment. And ye shall put them upon your sons and upon your daughters, and ye shall spoil the heathen Egyptians. Call TORAH, Devar Yahweh, Anai Yeshua, Nashemai, all that Yahweh said, what we didn't hear. So now you see what's going on. So remembrance, a memorial of the Most High's name for generations forever of Yahweh. This is his name. All right. You that are not worthy to hear that name right now, trust me, you're going to keep passing over and over and over, man. You're not worried about it. So, chapter 4. No, you already did that, right? And Moshe answered and said, but behold, they will not believe me, nor hearken unto my voice. For they will say, the master hath not appeared unto thee. And the master said unto him, and the angel of the Lord said unto him, what is that in thine hand? And he said, a rod. Moses' spirit of doubt. That's what's going on. Moses' spirit of doubt. Right? And he said, cast it on the ground. And he cast it on the ground. And it became a serpent. And Moses fled from before it. And the angel of the Lord said unto Moses, put forth thine hand and take it by the tail. And he put forth his hand and caught it. And it became a rod in his hand, that they may believe that the master power of their fathers, the power of Abraham, the power of Isaac, and the power of Jacob, hath appeared unto thee. And the master said furthermore unto him, put now thine hand in thine bosom. And put his hand in, and he put his hand into his bosom. And when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous as snow. What's the color of snow? Yes, you guessed. White. Right? Shalom, shalom. All right. My mic started to trip. All right. Let me get back to this. All right, verse 7. And he said, put thy hand into thy bosom again. And he put his hand into his bosom again and plucked it out of his bosom. And behold, it was turned again as his other flesh. So for white as snow, what was the original flesh? The original people of the land, period. It's dark brown people, so-called black. Right? Verse 8. And it shall come to pass, if they will not believe thee, neither hearken to the voice of the first sign, that they will believe the voice of the latter sign. And it shall come to pass, if they will not believe also the two signs, neither hearken unto thy voice, that thou shalt take of the water of the river and pour it upon the dry land, and the water which thou takest out of the river shall become blood upon the dry land. And Mashah said unto the angel of the Lord, O my master, I am not eloquent, neither therefore, nor since thou hast spoken unto thy servant, but I am slow of speech and of a slow tongue. And the angel of the Lord said unto him, who hath made man's mouth? Or who maketh the dumb or deaf, or the seeing, or the blind? Have not I, Yahweh? Now therefore go, and I will be with thy mouth, and teach thee what thou shalt say. And he said, O my master, send, I pray thee, by the hand of him whom thou wilt send. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against Moses. And he said, is not Aaron thy Levite, thy brother? I know that he can speak well. And also, behold, he cometh forth to meet thee. And when he seeth thee, he will be glad in his heart. And thou shalt speak unto him and put words in his mouth. And I will be with thy mouth and with his mouth, and will teach you what ye shall do. And he shall be thy spokesman unto the people. And he shall be, even he shall be thee, he shall be to thee instead of a mouth, and thou shalt be to him instead of a power. And thou shalt take this rod in thine hand, wherewith thou shalt do signs. And Moses went and returned to Jethro his father-in-law, and said unto him, let me go, I pray thee, and return unto my brethren, which are in Egypt, and see whether they be yet alive. And Jethro said to Moshe, go in peace. He said, Shalom. Oh man, yo. Excuse me. Excuse me. Whew, man. Verse 19. And the angel of the Lord said unto Mashah in Midian, Go, return into Egypt, for all the men are dead which sought thy life. And Mashah took his wife and his sons, and set them upon an ass, and returned to the land of Egypt. And Mashah took the rod of Yahweh in his hand. And the angel of the Lord said unto Mashah, When thou goest to return into Egypt, see that thou do all those wonders before Pharaoh, which I have put in thy hand. But I will harden his heart, he shall not let the people go. And thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, Thus saith Yahweh, Israel is my son, even my firstborn. And I say unto thee, Let my son go, right? That he may serve me. And if thou refuse to let him go, behold, I will slay thy son, even thy firstborn. Now, this is where it gets a little confusing. Because who is the destroyer? Yahweh Shai Mashiach. And Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Right? He's the angel. He's the destroyer. Right? So pay attention. Verse 24. And it came to pass by the way of the inn that the angel of the Lord met him and sought to kill him. Then Zipporah took the sharp stone and cut off the foreskin of her son and cast it at his feet and said, Surely a bloody husband art thou to me. Remember, when we in the land, you broke a law like that, man, you got slayed. So he let him go. Then she said, A bloody husband thou art, because of the circumcision. And the master said, and the angel of the Lord said unto Aaron, Go into the wilderness to meet Mashah. And he went and met him in the mount of Yahweh and kissed him. It's not that type of kiss, y'all. We talking about a spiritual kiss. You know, you just gotta see what. Man. Oh, yeah, 29. And Mashah and Aaron went and gathered together all the elders of the children of Yasharal. And Aaron spake all the words which the angel of the Lord had spoken unto Mashah, and did the signs in the sight of the people. And the people believed. And when they heard that the angel of the Lord had visited the children of Israel, and that he had looked upon their affliction, then they bowed their heads and worshipped. Yeah, see that right there? And the people believed. So, and Aaron spake all the words which the angel of the Lord had spoken unto Mashah, in verse 29, and did the signs in the sight of the people. And the people believed his signs. Man, and some people be like, some people are like that. They're a very forward generation, adulterous generation. They seek a sign. You know what I'm saying? They only like what they can see, and they only want a sign. That gives them faith by sign instead of, a sign of prophecy. Oh, sign of prophecy is just not all of them like that. All right, this Exodus chapter, Kal Shirah, the Bar Yahweh, Anaya Shai, when Ashman, that Yahweh said, what we doing here. Let's go into chapter 5. Salak, about that. Okay, I'm back. So we're going into chapter 5, Exodus chapter 5. And afterward, Mashah and Aaron went in and told Pharaoh, Thus saith Yahweh, thy power of Israel, let my people go, that they may hold a feast unto me in the wilderness. See that it would have probably been unleavened bread. I don't know. It wouldn't have probably been the Passover if Pharaoh would have hearkened, but the Most High planned that out. He said he wasn't. He's going to make it where he don't do it. All right, verse 2. And Pharaoh said, "Who is the master, that I shall obey his voice to let Israel go? I know not the master, neither will I let Israel go." And they said, "The master of the Hebrews has met with us. Let us go, we pray thee, 3 days' journey into the desert, and sacrifice unto Yahweh our power." Hold on. So I come back. Okay, verse 3. Exodus chapter 5, verse 3. And they said, "The power of the Hebrews has met with us. Let us go, we pray thee, 3 days' journey into the desert, and sacrifice unto Yahweh our power, lest he fall upon us with pestilence or with the sword." And the king of Egypt said unto them, "Wherefore do ye? Wherefore do ye, Mashah and Aaron, let the people from their words?" What do you expect me to do? Let the people from their words? "Get you unto your burdens." And Pharaoh said, "Behold, the people of the land now are many," right? "And you make them rest from their burdens." And Pharaoh commanded the same day, right? The taskmasters of the people and their officers, saying, "Ye shall no more give the people straw to make brick, and heretofore let them go and gather straw for themselves. And the tail of the brick which they did make hereto, you shall lay upon them. Ye shall not diminish out thereof. For they that be idle, therefore they cry, saying, Let us go and sacrifice to our power. Let their more work be laid upon the men, that they may labor therein, and let them not regard vain words. And they better not talk about me. You just thought that he the ish. He know they gonna talk about him, so he like make sure they don't. That's just putting fear into our people. You know what I mean? Crazy goddamn devils. Verse 10. And the taskmasters of the people went out, and their officers, and they spake to the people, saying, Thus saith Pharaoh, I will not give you straw. Go ye, Get your straw where you can't find it. You're not out of your work shall ye not out of your work shall be diminished. Go find it, but your work better get done. So the people were scattered abroad throughout of the land of Egypt to gather stubble instead of straw. And the taskmaster hasted them, saying, fulfill your work, your daily task, as when there was straw. This like that's impossible, man. We didn't know we were gonna have to do that. You didn't come to us and say this is gonna happen. So starting next week, y'all gonna have to find your own straw. But this week, you cool. Next week, you're gonna have to find it. It's crazy, man. Verse 13. And the taskmaster hasted them, saying, fulfill your work, your daily task, as when there was straw. So what's this going to remind you of, right? This will remind you of this is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of Yahweh thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, then all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. So what's a curse? Watch that. Curse shalt thou be in the city, being pulled over by the police. And curse shalt thou be in the field. That's your job. That's a curse. That's what's going on when people are being vexed. Right? Verse 14. Exodus chapter 5, verse 14. And the officers of the children of Israel, which Pharaoh's taskmasters had set over them, were beaten and demanded, wherefore have ye not fulfilled your task in making brick, both yesterday and today, as heretofore? Then the officers of the children of Israel came and cried unto Pharaoh, saying, wherefore dealest thus with thy servants? There is no straw given unto thy servants. And they say to us, make brick. And behold, thy servants are beaten. But the fault is in thy own people. But he said, ye are idle, ye are idle. Therefore ye say, let us go and do sacrifice to Yahweh. Go therefore now and work, for there shall no straw be given you. Yet shall ye deliver the tails of the bird. And the officers of the children of Israel did see that they were in evil case. After it was said, ye shall not diminish out from your bricks of your daily task. And they met Moshe and Aaron, stood in the way as they came forth from Pharaoh. And they said unto the master, look upon you and judge, because you have made our Savior to be abhorred in the eyes of Pharaoh and in the eyes of his servants, to put a sword in their hand to slay us. So that's like how people think that we're going to put a sword or a gun in a cop's hand for them to start shooting them on the street because what we say is not there, but we telling the truth. Well, the truth is the new weapon. Crazy, huh? The truth is a new weapon. People are gone bonkers, man. Verse 18, go therefore now and work, for there shall no straw be given you, yet shall ye deliver the tale of bricks. And the officers of the children of Israel did see that they were in evil case. After it was said, ye shall not diminish out from your bricks of your daily task. And they met Moshe and Aaron, who stood in the way as they came forth from Pharaoh. And they said unto them, the master look upon you and judge, because you have made our Savior to be abhorred in the eyes of Pharaoh, in the eyes of his servants, to put a sword in their hand to slay us. Again. And Moshe returned unto the angel of the Lord and said, Master, wherefore hast thou so evil entreated this people? Right? Why is it that thou hast sent me? For since I came to Pharaoh to speak in thy name, he hath done evil to this people. Neither hast thou delivered thy people at all. You can see right here. For in verse 23, for since I came to Pharaoh to speak in thy name, he hath done evil to this people. Neither hast thou delivered thy people at all. Man, these are the same curses that's on the same. Y'all gonna call y'all God and beating hell for the belly for it. Y'all gonna be doing this, y'all gonna be doing the same thing that's happened to our ancestors back then that's happened to us today. Today. So man, now we about to go into the gospel. We just finished the law. Now we're about to go into the gospel. We're going into the book of Mark. So let's get there real quick. Go to the book of Mark, chapter 13, verse 1. The book of Mark, chapter 13, verse 1. Didn't have soldiers and not go, y'all come here for this Luca. All right. This is the book of Mark, chapter 13, verse 1. And as he went out of the temple, one of his disciples said unto him, Master, see what manner of stones and what buildings are here. Yahushua Mashiach answering said unto him, Seest thou these great buildings? Thou shalt not be left one stone upon another, that shall not be thrown down. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, over against the temple, Peter and James and John and Andrew asked him privately, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign when all things shall be fulfilled? And Yahushua Mashiach answering them, begin to say, Take heed lest any man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Mashiach, and shall deceive many. And when ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, be ye not troubled, for such things must needs be, but the end shall not be yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be earthquakes in diverse places, and there shall be famines and troubles. These are the beginning of sorrows, but take heed to yourselves, for they shall deliver you up to councils, and in synagogues ye shall be beaten, and ye shall be brought before rulers and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them. And the gospel must first be published among all nations. For when they shall lead you and deliver you up, take no thought beforehand what ye shall speak, neither do ye premeditate. But whatsoever shall be given you in that hour, that speak ye, for it is ye that speak but the Holy Ghost. So hold on real quick, you guys. I'm about to switch off with the soldier, y'all. Hold on.
Shalom, shalom. All right. First of all, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God Yahweh. Do some names, only God the Son, Yahweh Shah Mashiach. All right, this is Mark, chapter 13, verse 1. And as he went out of the temple, one of his disciples said unto him, Master, see what manner of stones and what building are here. Yahweh Shah answered and said unto him, Seest thou these great buildings? There shall not be left one stone upon another, that shall not be thrown down. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives over against the temple, Peter and James and John and Andrew asked him privately, Tell us, what shall these things be? And what shall be the sign when all these things shall be fulfilled? And Yahushua answering began to say, Take heed lest any man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. That right there is a clear indicator to Caesar Borgia. He came in Christ's name and deceived the whole world. When you shall hear of wars, but that being Caesar Borgia, man, that was just the start. That was just the start of the end, right? And when ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, be ye not troubled, for such things must needs be, but the end shall not be yet. Right? So, all these wars and these rumors of wars, you thinking that this certain thing is gonna happen, and don't be scared of it, because that's supposed to happen. All right. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be earthquakes in diverse places, and there shall be famines and troubles. These are the beginnings of sorrows. But take heed to yourselves, for they shall deliver you up to councils, and in the synagogues ye shall be beaten, and ye shall be brought before rulers and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them. And the gospel must first be published among all nations. But when they shall lead you and deliver you up, take no thought beforehand what ye shall speak, neither do ye premeditate. But whatsoever shall be given you in that hour, that speak ye, for it is not ye that speak, but the Holy Ghost. Now the brother shall betray the brother to death, and the father the son, and the children shall rise up against the parents, and ye shall cause them to be put to death. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. But when ye shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, standing where it ought not, let him that readeth understand. Then let them that be in the Judea flee to the mountains. Matthew 2. Really quick, let me see something. Verse 15, and let him that is on the housetop not go down to the house, neither enter therein to take anything out of his house, and let him that is in the field not turn back again for to take up his garment. But woe to them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days, and pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, for in those days shall be affliction, such as was not from the beginning of the creation which the Most High created unto this time, neither shall be. And except that the Lord had shortened those days, no flesh should be saved. But for the elect's sake, whom he hath chosen, he hath shortened the days. And then, if any man shall say to you, Lo, here is Christ, or Lo, here is he is there, believe him not. For false Christ and false prophets shall rise, and shall shew signs and wonders to seduce, if it were possible, even the elect. But take ye heed, behold, I have foretold you all things. But in those days, after that tribulation, the sun shall be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars of heaven shall fall, and the powers that are in heaven shall be shaken. And then they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds with great power and glory. And then shall he send his angels and gather together his elect from the four winds, from the uttermost parts of the earth to the uttermost part of heaven. Now learn a parable of the fig tree. When her branch is yet tender and putteth forth leaves, ye know that summer is near. So ye in like manner, when ye shall see these things come to pass, know that it is nigh, even at the doors. Verily I say unto you, that this generation shall not pass till all these things be done. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. But of that day and that hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels which are in heaven, neither the Son, but the Father. Take ye heed, watch and pray, for ye know not when the time is. For the Son of Man is a man taking a far journey, who left his house and gave authority to his servants, and to every man his work, and commanded the porter to watch. Watch ye therefore, for ye know not when the master of the house cometh at even, or at midnight, or at the cock crowing, or in the morning, lest coming suddenly ye find you sleeping. And what I say to you, I say to all, watch. All right. Okay. This is Mark chapter 14, verse 1. After 2 days was the feast of the Passover and of unleavened bread, and the chief priests and the scribes sought how they might take him by craft and put him to death. But they said, not on the feast day, lest there be an uproar of the people. And being in Bethany, in the house of Simon the leper, as he sat at the meat, there came a woman having an alabaster box of ointment of spikenard very precious. And she sat, and she brake the box and poured it on his head. And there was some that had the indignation within themselves and said, why was this waste of the ointment made? For it might have been sold for more than 300 pence, and have been given to the poor. And they murmured against her. And Yahushua said, let her alone. Why trouble you her? She hath wrought a good work upon me. For ye have the poor with you always, but whensoever ye may not do them good, but me ye have not always. She hath done what she could. She is come aforehand to anoint my body to the burying. And verily I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached throughout the whole world, this also that she hath done shall be spoken of for a memorial of her. And Judas Iscariot, one of the 12, went unto the chief priests to betray him unto them. And when they heard it, they were glad and promised to give him money. And he sought how he might conveniently betray him. And the first day of unleavened bread, when they killed the Passover, his disciples said unto him, where wilt thou that we go and prepare, that thou mayest eat the Passover? And he sendeth forth 2 of his disciples, and saith unto them, go ye into the city, and there shall meet you a man bearing a pitcher of water. Follow him. And wheresoever ye shall go in, say ye to the good man of the house, the master saith, where is the guest chamber? Where shall I eat the Passover with my disciples? And when he will shew you a large upper room furnished and prepared, there make ready for us. And his disciples went forth and came into the city, and found as he had said unto them, and they made ready the Passover. And in the evening he cometh with the 12, and they sat and did eat. And Yahushua said, verily I say unto you, one of you which eateth with me shall betray me. And they began to be sorrowful, and to say unto him one by one, is it I? And another said, is it I? And the answer is said unto them, it is one of the 12 that dippeth with me in the dish. The Son of Man indeed goeth as it is written of him, but woe to that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. Good were it for that man if he had never been born. And they did eat. Yahushua took bread and blessed and brake it, and gave it to them, and said, take, eat, this is my body. And he took the cup, and when he had given thanks, he gave it to them, and they all drank of it. And he said unto them, this is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many. Verily I say unto you, I will drink no more of the fruit of the vine until the day that I drink it new in the kingdom of the Most High. And when they had sung an hymn, they went out into the Mount of Olives. And Yahushua said unto them, all ye shall be offended because of me this night, for it is written, I will smite the shepherd, and the sheep shall be scattered. But after that I am risen, I will go before you into Galilee. But Peter said unto him, although all shall be offended, ye will not, I. And Yahushua said unto him, verily I say unto thee, that this day, even in this night before the cock crow, twice thou shalt deny me thrice. But he spake the more unhindredly. If I should die with thee, I will not deny thee in any wise. Likewise also said they all. And they came to a place which was named Gethsemane. And he said unto his disciples, sit ye here while I shall pray. And he taketh with him Peter and James and John, and began to be sore amazed, and to be very heavy. And said unto them, my soul is exceeding sorrowful unto death. Tarry ye here and watch. And he went forth And he went forward a little and fell on the ground and prayed that if it were possible, the hour might pass with him. And he said, Abba, Father, all things are possible unto thee. Take away this cup from me. Nevertheless, not that I will, but what thou wilt. Actually, asking, right now he's asking the Most High to take this cup away from him. That's what he's doing. Okay, it's up to the Most High to take it away. And he cometh and findeth them sleeping, and saith unto Peter, Simon, sleepest thou? Couldst not thou watch 1 hour? Watch ye and pray, lest ye enter into temptation. The spirit truly is ready, but the flesh is weak. And again he went away and prayed and spake the same words. And when he returned, he found them sleeping again, for the eyes were heavy, neither was they what to answer them. And he cometh the third time and saith unto them, Sleep on now, and take your rest. It is enough. The hour is come. Behold, the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Rise up, let us go. Lo, he that betrayed me is at hand. And immediately, while he yet spake, cometh Judas, one of the 12, and with him a great multitude with swords and staves from the chief priests and the scribes and the elders. And he that betrayed him had given them a token, saying, Whomsoever I shall kiss, that same is he. Take him, lead him away safely. And as soon as he was come, he goeth straightway to him and said, Master, Master, and kissed him. And they laid their hands on him, and he took him. And one of them that stood by drew a sword and smote a servant of the high priest and cut off his ear. Yahushua answered and said unto the men, Are ye come out as against a thief with swords and with staffs to take me? And I was daily with you in the temple teaching, and ye took me not, in the scriptures must be, but ye took me not, but the scriptures must be fulfilled. And they all forsook him and fled. And there followed him a certain young man, having a linen cloth east about his naked body. And the young men laid hold on him, and he left the linen cloth and fled from them naked. And they led Yahushua away to take high priest. And with him were assembled all chief priests, and the elders, and the scribes. Verse 54, And Peter followed him afar off, even into the palace of the high priest. And he sat with the servants, and warmed himself at the fire. And the chief priests and all the council sought for witness against Yahushua to put him to death, and found none. For many bare false witness against him, and the witnesses agreed not together. And there arose certain and bare false witness against him, saying, We heard him say, I will destroy this temple that is made with hands, and within 3 days I will build another made without hands. But neither so did their witness agree together. And the high priest stood up in the midst and asked Yahushua, saying, Answerest thou nothing? What is it which these witnesses against thee? But he held his peace and answered nothing. Again the high priest asked him and said unto him, Art thou the Christ, the Son of the Blessed? Yahushua said, I am. And ye shall see the Son of Man sitting in the right hand of the power, coming in the clouds of heaven. And then the high priest rent his clothes and said, What needs we any further witnesses? Ye have heard the blasphemy. What think ye? And with all the condemned, and they all condemned him to be guilty of death. And some began to spit on him, and to cover his face, and to buffet him, and to say unto him, Prophecy, no, so I can prophesy. And the servants did strike him with the palms of their hands. And as Peter was beneath in the palace, there cometh one of the maids of the high priest. And when she saw Peter warming himself, she looked upon him and said, And thou also was with Yahushua of Nazareth. But he denied, saying, I know not, neither understand I what thou sayest. And he went out into the porch, and the cock crew. And the maid saw him again, and began to say to them that stood by, This is one of them. And he denied it again. And a little after, they that stood by and said again to Peter, Surely thou art one of them, for thou art a Galilean, and thou and thy speech agreeth thereto. But he began to curse and to swear, saying, I know not this man of whom he speaks. And the second time the cock crew, and Peter called to mind the word that Yahushua said unto him, Before the cock crowed twice, thou shalt deny me thrice. And when he thought thereon, he wept. So now we're gonna move on. Luke 5. With that, I give all praise and glory to Most High God Yahweh. Do some names on God's Son, Yahushua Mashiach. Shalom.